Knitting Podcast. My name's Hazel. I'm coming to you from Wales in the United Kingdom. It is a gloriously boiling hot sunny day here today, and I thought it was a great time to get the flowers whilst they're nice and dry. So this is part of my this video is part of my wild dyeing series, and we are doing 3 sections. We are doing dyeing from stuff in the kitchen, dyeing from plants that we find in the wild, and dyeing from plants that can be found in the garden. So we have looked at just the basics of dyeing and the sorts of things to look out for in the first episode. So in this one I thought that what we do today is we pick some flowers out of the garden and we take them into the dye kitchen and do some dyeing with them. So I'm going to be putting the colours into my weaving kits, and they're going to be available for you to purchase in my Ko-fi shop. I do little mini weaving kits, and in that is going to be some colours from this natural dye series and the vlog video that I made the other week as well, because we dyed with conch off a beech tree, and it's like a fungus that grows like scales. I'll put a picture here if I can find one for you, and you can pick it off, put it in the dye pot. I fermented it for a year, and then I put it in the dye pot and dyed some wool, and these are the colours that I got. As you can see, this one's slightly darker. This is the original colour that I did with just the alum mordants, and then this one went in a copper pan and I dyed it with that, and this one was used iron water. So I don't know whether you can tell with the sun, but there are 3 slightly different colours. The bottom one's darker than the top one. The top one was the original one. These ones went in the pan at the same time. This one's Shetland, and I'm not sure what this one is. I think it might be Cotswold wool, but I'm not 100% sure. But there are 5 different colours, and it was great fun doing it, because I'd forgotten, to be honest with you, that I had it in the in my dye stuff. So when I found it, it was great. So the flowers I want to get today to use in the dye pans today are some dyers chamomile, because there's loads of it. I've been dividing the plants and putting them around the garden, and I've been wanting to try them for ages, but there hasn't been enough flowers. Now I think I may have enough flowers because there's new flowers forming. So I'm just going to do 1 skein of yarn, probably about 25 grams, which would be about 50 metres. And I'm just going to do 1 skein and see how we get on with that, and just have the one true colour without modifying it and without changing it. So I'm going to do that. And I've noticed as well that there is some goldenrod in the garden, which is flowering really, really well. All the wildlife loves it. So I'm just going to pick off the flowers that they're not on. And some heather. I thought we'd try some heather as well, because I've got 2 different colours. I've got the wild heather, which is like a lilac colour, and then I've got the cultivated one, which is a pink. So I thought I'd try the pink and see what colour I can get from that, and then in another video some point we'll dye with the purple, because I've got loads of that in storage. So that's my thinking for this video today. So I'll go and get my basket and go and get on with that. So see you in a bit. Right, so this is our first flower that I've decided to pick, and it's called dyers chamomile. It has these beautiful yellow flowers, and they dye a lovely deep yellow colour. So this is what we're going to pick today. I'm not going to pick all the flowers, but I don't know whether you can see, there's plenty of new flower buds. Now I've done plenty of cuttings of these flowers, so there's quite a few around the garden now, so I'm not going to strip this. I'm going to leave a few flowers for the bees and things like that. So I'm going to take a few. Any that I think have nearly gone, I'm going to take as well. Any like these that have just got a few petals on, I think they'll still be okay because they've got a nice yellow centre. So I'm just going to pick these and see how we get on. The bees are still visiting some of these flowers, so I don't want to take them all. But I'm taking the ones that are wide open and the ones that have pushed their petals back like this one. Whether you can see, the petals are all pushed back, so I'm happy to take that one. Any like these probably haven't been visited by the bees yet because they're still quite closed, so I'm going to leave them. But this one's nice and flat and open, so I think that's safe to take. Right, so as you can see, we haven't stripped it. We've left a few flowers, and these are flowers that I think the bees are still using and still visiting. So let's go and see what else we can find on another plant. Anything that you see like that has probably seen better days, so I probably wouldn't add that. Because it might make it brown. Right. I've got them so far off one plant, so let's go and have a look at another one. So this is my perennial border, and that one there is goldenrod, so I'm going to take some of that. And these here are the dyers chamomile that I've done as cuttings last year. So let's have a look at those. Now, as you can probably see, there's quite a few flowers on here that I can pick. So let's help ourselves, because these are probably getting past their best. Now I don't mind taking these because it's probably going to make it flower a bit more. I want it to keep flowering, so the more you pick, the more it flowers, which is what we want. So I need to go round with the secateurs later and prune it all down so it'll carry on flowering. But just for now, this will do. There's another one here. There's my basket. This one does have some new flowers opening on it, so I'm happy to take them. This one here is look like little buttons. That's tansy. Now that's also a dye flower, but I'm not going to use that today. But it looks like it's getting near the end, so the bees probably aren't going to visit it much more than what they already are. There is a bee on it at the moment, so I don't like to take things as long as the bees and things like that, the wildlife's using them. So as long as the wildlife is visiting it, I think it should be left alone. So now what I've noticed is, on the goldenrod there is quite a bit of wildlife, so I'm not going to take all the flowers, but there are some flower buds coming behind the flowers that are on, so I think if I pick, then I'm likely to get more flowers. There is a big massive wasp flying around. I'm not sure if it's a hornet, but yeah, so I'm going to pick some of that as well. Right, so this is the goldenrod. This is it here, lovely flower head on it, so I won't take them off individually. Could have done with secateurs, but typically I haven't brought them out with me. Now behind there are some more flower buds appearing here. So I'm not too bothered about taking them because there's quite a few flower buds. So this is what we're picking, these bits here, and there's still a lot of colour left in them. But I'm not going to strip it, I'm just going to take a few. Partly because I don't want to get stung by the wasp. There's another one. Lovely colours, aren't they? the butterfly about. Trying to avoid the wasp. Now I believe you can use all parts of the goldenrod, but I've not tried it myself. This is my first time trying this, so I've always grown it, but I've never had a chance to use it because I've always been too busy this time of year. It's too young. Get one more. That's actually really easy to pick. So we've got all this to try. So that's a good bunch from one plant. So there's our basket so far. Right, let's go see what else we can find. You can use Rudbeckia. I did that last year. You can use the whole flower or you can just use the centre. I believe you can use the leaves as well. But I've only done the centres. I haven't tried anything else. So that's a Rudbeckia flower. The bees love them. So I'm reluctant to take that. Right, let's have a look up here. Now this is a relatively new goldenrod. It's one I divided last year, so I'm not going to touch that this year because it's only just started flowering, so that can stay where it is. Now there are a few more flowers on this one up the top part of the garden, but I don't think I'm going to pick that many off it, to be honest, because it's nearly finished. So there's our flowers. That's a coreops or chamomile, and then that one is our goldenrod. Very happy. Right, shall we go down to the shed and we'll start preparing it for the dye pot. Right, so I've got my 2 pans on. This one is going to be for the goldenrod. This one's going to be for the dyers chamomile. Both just plain filtered water out of the tap because we're on spring water. You can use rainwater, but I'm just using what comes out of the tap. It's been standing in the bottle for a few days, so anything that may have been in it has now gone out of it. And it's fresh spring water. So as I say, this one's going to be for the goldenrod, and this one's going to be for our dyers chamomile. Now, what I need to do next is weigh the flowers, add the alum, and we'll be away. Right, so this is my yarns. There's roughly 100 grams to go in each one, in each pot. So what I've got is a mixture of mini skeins and full size. I've got some of that Cotswold and I've got some Shetland. Now these have already been pre-scoured and then dried. And then this one, again, Cotswold and alum, some mini skeins and some full size skeins. So I've got 3 mini skeins, 2 full size, 3 mini skeins, 2 full size. Right, so there's roughly 100 grams in each one. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add my alum. And my alum is 10% alum to 7% cream of tartar. Now I know that's roughly about a tablespoon. That's one. Just break it up with your hands if it's all stuck together. 2. Right, so that's the alum. And then this is my cream of tartar. So I'm going to add less than a tablespoon. We'll try 3/4. See how we get on. I've left the scales down at the house, so right, so we'll give that a stir. Mix it all in. Now, I'm going to do it as an all-in-one method. You can do it so as you alum, you morden your wool first and then add the dye it to the dye pan. But I'm just going to chuck it all in the one. Simply because I just want to get on with it and see how it's going. So the water's not that hot, so I'm happy to add my wool. Right, so what I'm doing is I'm uncoiling my yarns, because they've been stored like that since last year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a cable tie on them to stop them getting all tangled. Just easier taking in and out the pot as well, because then you're not holding on to hot yarns. So I'm just undoing them. Give them a bit of a shake, loosen them up a bit. And I'm going to put these in categories. So these are the 2 odd. This is the Cotswold and the Shetland. I'm going to put them together. And then the mini skeins, I'm going to put them together. So I know that they haven't got as much meterage on them. Put them together. Make sure they're nice and loose. Give them a bit of a shake just to loosen the yarn up a bit. Not too much that it all gets tangled, like it's just happened to mine. Make sure you catch all of your loops in the cable tie so it doesn't get all messed up. Right, so that's that. So they're ready. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my chamomile flowers, pile them in the pan, just like that. We just add them to our water. I think I've got some of these in the house, so I need to go and get them because I don't think there's going to be enough for the weight of yarn. So I think what I might do actually, because there's not a lot, is just add the mini skeins. I'll do something else with the other. So which are our mini skeins? That's those. So I think I'm just going to try this one. This is the Cotswold because there's not a lot of colour. There's not a lot of chamomile. So I'll do something else with the other skeins. But I'm just going to put this in. And see if we can get any colour. Already see some colour coming out. Oh yeah, that's nice. So we'll leave them in there. I think I may stick another one in. I think I'm going to try this one as well. Some of the lamb's wool. Right, we'll leave that in there for 10-15 minutes to heat through. Already I can see colour coming out of the flowers. So we'll leave that all in there together, mingling. And then the next one, we just turn you up a bit, is going to be our flowers from the goldenrod. Now I'm just separating the flowers. I think I'm going to use the stalks separately. So I'm just going to take the flowers out, because I'm not sure if I'll get a different colour with the flowers to the stalks. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm just taking them off and popping them in the pan. I'm going to put all these in because I'm going to use a bigger weight of yarn. So we'll use the stalks another day, but for now we're just putting the flowers in. Chamomile smells lovely. You don't want it to boil because you'll just end up with a mucky brown mess. You just want it to simmer gently, which is difficult on gas because it's just either hot or not. I'm hoping that by the next couple of weeks to have my rocket stove set up and my cooker outside. Now this time is a great time of year to try natural dyes because you've got lots of natural plants, wild plants coming into their own, like heather and elder and berries, and you can just have a really, really good play. Which really is what natural dyes are supposed to be. It's an excuse to have a play. And I love nothing better than faffing about. So this suits me. Now I've wanted to try this colour for ages, so I'm going to do a load of it. Let's see what we get. You may get the odd few bits stuck in your wool, but you can always shake them out once they're dry. But this is just so much quicker. Even quicker is pre-mordanting the yarn and storing it pre-mordanted. That's even better. Now I can't remember if I did that with these. So they're getting mordanted again if they have. I'm loving the colour that chamomile's turning the wool. Just hope it stays. So these bits are going to go in a separate dye pot. And we'll see what I need to pee. We'll see what we end up with. But our fibres are in there. And now our yarns are going to go in as well. So squash it in, mingle it about. Oh, there's already colour coming out of that. I think I need more water. I don't think those flowers are going to have enough space. Don't want the fibres or anything to burn on the bottom of the pan. Okay, so we've got our colour going on there. Yeah, it's starting to let the colour out. So I'll bung them in. The wrong type of weather for doing this really, because it's roasting. And we'll see what happens. If it fails, there's more in the garden. But let's see what happens, shall we? Because there is colour coming out. Now this one, this pan here is the one with our chamomile in it, and look at that lovely colour coming out already. It's only been in there 5 minutes, so it actually lets out a lot of colour, but I'm not going to add any more yarn. I'm going to see how that turns out. But this one's letting out a bit of colour, but the flowers are smaller and more tightly packed, so it might take longer. But I'm really pleased with this one. Look at the colour, it's gorgeous. So yeah, we'll leave them to simmer and mingle a bit. And I'll write out my card. I'll write out my card saying what I've done. Right, I'm going to leave them to cook. It's far too hot in here, and I'll be back later and show you how things are going. So see you in a bit. So I've just come up. This one is Dyers Chamomile. I've been wanting to try this for ages, and look at that beautiful yellow. Isn't it gorgeous? I only put a few heads in the pot. There wasn't many, but look at that gorgeous yellow. So we'll leave that to soak overnight, and I'll have a look at it again tomorrow. The water's still warm, but isn't that lovely? So that's the Dyers Chamomile. So leave the lid on that. It's just in an ordinary pan. Then this one is goldenrod, and it's bright yellow. So this one's soaking as well, and I've done it in with the flowers. And this is the yellow that's coming out on that one just after. It's only been in, how long's it been in? 2 hours, 3 hours. But the yellow's not as strong as the other one, but I think it's going to be lovely. So what I might do tomorrow, I might put some citric acid in with it. Right, okay, so it's winter, and you've just watched me dyeing in summer. It's now November, middle of November, and I filmed that for you back in September when I did my Vlogtember vlogs for my other channel, my Wildwood Cottage Diary channel, and I think it was around about the first week in September. So yeah, we're now a couple of months away from that. As you can see, I've got a bit of Christmas behind me, my Christmas wreath. And I just thought I'd come back and show you the colours and show you what I got really. So the camera unfortunately is not doing a very good job of the colours, because it is night time, it is dark, so you're just going to have to bear with me with the colours. First one, this one is goldenrod. If I show you it against the green, that might help, mightn't it? This was the original. And it was done, can you see that? I'm having a really hard time with this light, with the light I'm using. Let's turn that one off. See if that helps, shall we? That's better. This one is the goldenrod original. This is just how it went in the pan. It's come out this lovely deep yellow, and this one was Shetland, this colour here. This one was Shetland, and this one, I think it's either Suffolk or Cotswold, I can't really remember. I got it off a cone of yarn on eBay. So that's the colour of that, straight as it's come out the pan. So I'm very pleased with that. I think it looks really nice. If I twist it up a bit, you'll be able to see. I think that yellow is beautiful. As I say, the camera's not doing it justice. You can see a slight difference in the colour between the two different yarns. This is the Shetland and this is the other one. So there is a slight difference of colour, but not very much. So that's one. And then what I did was I put it back in the pan, and this one I put in with iron wool, so you can see there's a slight difference in the colour there. And then this one went in with copper, so there is a slight difference between the two. So say this one went in with copper, this one went in with iron water, and you can see there's a slightly orange tinge to this one to that one. And then that was the original. So I'm really pleased with how the goldenrod turned out. I think it's turned out really well. I think it's really nice. The colours are a beautiful deep yellow, like a sunset yellow, autumnal yellow. So I think that's really nice, and I think that's largely because the plant was aging when I did it, and I just wish the camera would pick it up because they're a lovely colour. And then this one was the dyers chamomile. This one here, slightly lighter than that one. There you go, the difference in the colour between them two. These ones are dyers chamomile, and the bottom one here is lamb's wool, and the top one I think again is that Suffolk, if it is Suffolk. So there's the colours on that one. So I'm really sorry, the camera's just not picking up the colours at all. So this is goldenrod, this is dyers chamomile. Unfortunately on the camera there doesn't look like there's much difference, but there is quite a subtle difference. So if I can take a photograph of them I will. But there's definitely a colour difference between those three. There, this is the goldenrod, this is the dyers chamomile. So there's definitely a subtle difference between them. This is a lot brighter than this one. This is a softer colour. And then these ones, I added these ones to an exhaust bath, so they're different again. And all the exhaust bath is the exhausted colour in the pan. And you just take out what colour's left basically. So that's what I did with those. So they're the colours. Very pleased with them, very happy. I just wish the camera would pick them up for you. So you can see slight difference in the variation there, can't you? But that's what I get for videoing in the night time, in the dark, using artificial lights. So anyway, yeah, I had great fun doing that. I can highly recommend goldenrod and dyers chamomile, and I may try and make something with them, with all the different yellows mixed in with brown in one project, and then hopefully you'll be able to see the differences in the colour. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference in those. These are the exhaust bath, and then these two here are the goldenrod. So yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. And they were thrown in the chamomile pot. This is the original, this one here, and then these are the exhaust bath. So yeah, I'm very pleased with how they turned out. They turned out really well. As I say, I just wish the camera would pick up the colours for you. It's getting very stormy out there, so I think I'm going to go in. Yeah, I hope you've been enjoying this series. This series now is going to be going up again in December, between Christmas and New Year. I'm not going to be doing any more natural dye videos until between Christmas and New Year, and they will be pre-recorded because I'm going to have 2 weeks off. So I hope you've been enjoying the dyes, the natural dyes. When the ivy berries come out, I'm going to have another go of dyeing with ivy berries. And I've also got my natural dye boxes as well to go through with all my natural dyes in. So we need to have a go with them and get experimenting with them. So that's going to come up in the new year. But for now, that's it. I'll see if I can photograph or video the colours for you away from the camera. I'll try using my phone. I might get a better colour palette with that for you. But other than that, that's it from me. I'm going to go in. It's getting cold, it's getting stormy, and I want to go and get in front of the fire and do my knitting. So enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy Vlogmas. I hope you're going to enjoy my Vlogmas. That's coming up a week on Friday. Pre-Vlogmas will be the 30th of November, the day before. And then we will get stuck into Vlogmas together and have lots of fun and get excited on the run up to Christmas. So if you have enjoyed my video, do like and subscribe, do hit that notification bell, and that'll tell you when I upload new videos. And there'll be another video coming up for you next Sunday. and we'll see what crafty shenanigans I've been getting up to between now and then. So I'll see you soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye for now. Bye bye.